Welcome everyone to the Coinbureau podcast. My name is Guy, and my colleague here, who is squinting quite a bit today.
Yeah, Mad Mike Mooch.
Welcome, Mike. What has happened to your eye?
I got assaulted by an 8-month-old child.
Was the child related to you?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's something.
That's fine. So is that domestic abuse? Am I a victim?
Reverse domestic abuse, I think. But I'm sure you've got a case against him. I'm sure he has got a case to answer against you.
Yes. He was having a little tantrum when I picked him up, and he just clocked me straight in the eye.
Wow, just like his old man.
That's a wild allegation.
It's good to see that you've passed on some of
The
your
apple
traits
doesn't fall far from the tree.
It certainly does not. It certainly does not. Oh dear. Well, I'm sorry to see you in pain. The insincerity just dripping from my voice there. And yes, here we are in the studio again. And because of your eye, I'm on the other side of the table.
Yeah, because there's some lights that are shining in it.
You're very light sensitive.
Yeah, my right eye is quite
You're a bit of a delicate flower today, aren't you?
I am.
It is a very dangerous world out there, which is why we're doing today's episode.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to talk today, basically, about how to keep your crypto safe. Because as we've seen over the past few weeks, a lot of people have not managed to do that. A lot of people have lost a lot of their crypto. And before, we have touched on this subject a few times before. And one of the reasons I've often talked about the importance of self-custodying your crypto is because of the risk of exchanges and things being hacked. And that is still a legitimate concern. But actually what we've seen over the last few weeks is that a number of particularly centralized lending protocols and other kind of custodians of people's crypto, they haven't been hacked, they've just been really badly managed, and they've gone insolvent, and a lot of people have lost a lot of money. And obviously the big name in all of this at the moment is Celsius, this centralized crypto lending and borrowing platform. 1.7 million users. We've talked about it a couple of times in recent episodes. That saga is ongoing. So withdrawals at Celsius are still paused, which means those people still can't get their hands on their crypto. It's very, very worrying. There's talk of it going bankrupt now. Celsius is not the only one. Voyager Digital is another crypto platform that's gone down. There are lots of rumors about other ones as well. So it's really tough out there. So I thought we'd do an episode today for people thinking, okay, I've got my coins sitting on an exchange. I've got my coins sitting in one of these protocols. What is the best way to make sure they're secure? That's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
And really, it's because, Bitcoin, as we've discussed before, one of the reasons that it was invented was with financial freedom in mind. And I think a big part of financial freedom is taking custody of your own assets, being responsible for your own wealth. Obviously, we've talked about exchange hacks in the past as well. Mt. Gox is the most infamous example of those. There are also rumors about various exchanges being insolvent at the moment as well. There's a lot of concern that the contagion in crypto is going to spread, and I think there is a good chance. And now I can't sit here and name names because a lot of this is rumor, and it's very, very difficult to substantiate these rumors, and it's very difficult to know what is going on behind the scenes at any company, any crypto exchange,
or any company for that matter.
Yeah, absolutely. So we can't. If there's any lesson to be learned from the last few weeks, it's that you can't rely on anyone. And the old phrase, and this phrase has been kicking around a lot on crypto Twitter over the last few weeks, as you can imagine. Not your keys, not your coins. Again, this is something that we've mentioned before. And it's worth reiterating as well. For those unfamiliar, it's like when you hold your crypto on an exchange or a lending platform or whatever it is, you do not control the private keys to that crypto. The exchange does, the platform that's holding that crypto. They control the private keys. What you have is basically an IOU from that platform saying, oh yes, when you want to withdraw your crypto, then we'll let you. Problem is, sometimes you get the situation like you have with Celsius and several others. Withdrawals get paused because they've basically run out of money, and that IOU is not worth the paper it's printed on.
Mm-hmm.
So, really, the thing to do to be as secure, as safe as you can be with your crypto is to
have it in cold storage.
Is to custody it yourself. And cold storage is the one that is the main one that I want to talk about today. But I'm gonna divide this up into 3 sections. Okay, so in a minute I'm going to start talking about cold storage, which basically means hardware wallets. Again, mentioned before, people may be familiar with them, people may have heard the term, whatever. I'm going to break it down, tell you a bit about and how they work, etc. I'm then also going to spend a little bit of time talking about software wallets as well. These are wallets that you can have as an app on your phone, as a desktop program, as a browser extension, things like this. They are also an option for custodying your crypto. And then the last section, I want to give some very important tips that every crypto holder should know. And some of these, things like having a strong password on your exchange account, etc., may seem blindingly obvious. But I can be pretty sure that there'll be a few in there that people won't have heard before. And I think it's really, really important that everyone is familiar with them. So listen until the very end, folks, because this is really important stuff. Okay. Are you ready to crack on with hardware wallets? You were saying just a moment ago that you've bought yourself a Ledger. Is that right?
Yeah, I had a Trezor, which I used back in the day.
Okay.
But I'm not, and I took it all off and put it on because I was like, hey, why don't I need to be a bit more flexible if something is happening in the market, and then I wasn't very flexible. So I'm just downloading a Coinbase wallet.
Oh yeah,
on my phone.
Okay, good. You're multitasking.
Yeah,
I'll do the talking. You do the download.
Well, this is how it this is live action podding.
Yeah, this is multi-dimensional live action podding. Yeah, and actually, I suppose it will demonstrate just how easy it is to take a few steps to keeping your crypto secure. It is not a big, long, complicated process like many people may believe it is.
And it's done.
There we are. Okay. All right, let's start off by talking about hardware wallets, because a hardware wallet is the safest way to store your crypto. And the reason that it is the safest way is because it is what we call cold storage. So it's not kept online in any way, shape or form, and the device itself is not connected to the internet. So it's I think air gap is another term that you might hear. So, and I've mentioned hardware wallets on a number of occasions before. Basically, they all sort of look a bit different, but kind of the same. It's a small device generally. It looks a bit like a USB drive in a lot of cases, and it is designed to store the private keys to your crypto. And these devices are pretty dumb in a way. Not because they're low tech or anything like that, but they're
keep
really,
it simple, keep it working.
Yeah, they're not like a smartphone designed to do a million different things and also make phone calls. These devices, they are designed to store your private keys and to sign transactions, and that is it. So although they may sound complex, they're actually not, and they're also incredibly easy to use because a lot of thought has been put in by these hardware wallet manufacturers, as in to the UI, to the user experience, user interface. And there are 2 big names in the hardware wallet space. There are others, and we might mention some of them as we go along, but the 2 that you'll most often come across are Trezor and Ledger. And they supply the majority of hardware wallets out there. There are other wallets on the market, and there are other wallets coming onto the market as well. But Trezor and Ledger are, if you like, the market leaders. Trezor is a Czech company, I believe, from the Czech Republic. It's actually an offshoot of a company called Satoshi Labs. And then Ledger is a French company. And each company has its own kind of entry-level device. So Trezor has the Trezor 1 and Ledger has the Ledger Nano S. And each one also has a slightly more advanced model as well. So that's the Model T, Trezor Model T, and the Ledger Nano X. Okay. So the entry-level ones are good for sort of all the main coins and tokens, but they don't hold all of them. Now, if you're just holding, say, BTC and ETH, then you're going to be fine with any of these devices. Ditto sort of more common ones as well, things like Litecoin and things like that, Bitcoin Cash, pretty much all of these wallets will hold those. It's when you start to get onto slightly more exotic coins and tokens that you have to be a little bit careful. So if you do have a very, very simple crypto portfolio, just a little bit of Bitcoin and Ethereum, say, then any one of these hardware wallets will do for you. If you've diversified a bit more, then you want to check when you're deciding which coin to buy. If you are holding a lot of Mingecoin, for instance, you want to make sure. So if you go on either Trezor or Ledger's website, and you'll be able to get a breakdown.
I just bought one on Amazon, and there was a version which has NFTs as well.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I got that one, even though I don't have any NFTs.
Okay, you bought it on Amazon. Okay, well we'll talk about that in a moment.
Should I not have bought it on Amazon?
You should not have bought it on Amazon, not for any anti-Amazon reasons, but I will get
someone
to that.
Because it could have been. Oh my God! What a.
Oh my word!
I haven't put it on there yet.
Okay. Well, double check.
But even if it's from the seller ledger.
Yeah.
Really?
I think because it's an extra step on the way. I think the thing to do is to order it directly from the manufacturer themselves, and then you can be
double safe.
Certain. Yeah. But we'll get to that in a minute. So, it's worth checking out when you're thinking of buying a hardware device, whether it's a Ledger, Trezor, or anything else for that matter, it's worth just double-checking what coins and tokens.
Don't buy a second-hand one.
Do not buy a second-hand hardware wallet. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. Now, these devices themselves are really, really secure, and they're also really, really easy to use. Now, the way that you interact with a hardware wallet is through the proprietary software. So, Trezor has what's called the Trezor Suite, and Ledger has a software program called Ledger Live. And you can download these on your computer, on your phone, or whatever, and then you use those to interact with your wallet to run it. But the wallet itself, each one does have some sort of buttons on as well that you can that you can do various things with. But yeah, anyone who's worried that a hardware wallet is a really complicated, involved piece of tech and that they'll never figure out how to use it is wrong. They are very, very easy to use. So now the devices themselves, as I say, are very, very secure. I should mention that there are a couple of things worth pointing out. So a team from Kraken is a big exchange in the US. Now, a security team from Kraken did manage to hack into a Trezor device a while back, but the attack needed physical access to the device, so they weren't able to hack it remotely or anything like that. And they also needed a lot of technical knowledge and also specialist tools to do it. So although the device was hacked, there are a lot of caveats to that. So I would say, I use Trezor devices myself. I am perfectly satisfied that they are safe. Ledger, no. As far as we know, no Ledger device has ever been hacked.
Apart from maybe the one I've just bought on Amazon.
Well, we'll reserve judgment on that.
You've terrified me now.
It's all right. It's going to be all right, Mike. It's going to be all right. Ledger itself, the company, did have a data breach of its servers a couple of years ago, and a lot of customer data was stolen. But no Ledger device, no one's crypto was affected by that. It was a real drop of the ball by Ledger, because a lot of that data contained things like email address, also physical addresses and things like that. So that was not cool. But ledger devices, as far as we know, are secure. So if you get if you use a ledger device to store your crypto, you should be fine. Ditto.
Which one do you
Trezor.
use?
I use Trezors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I will use Ledger.
Okay. Well, you do that. You do that. So, now I've got a note here. Yeah, very important. When you order your hardware wallet, order it directly from the manufacturer. And what I'll do for the show notes of this, I will leave links to Ledger, Trezor, and for the sake of fairness, a couple of other wallet providers. I'll leave links in the show notes of the podcast to their official sites. Yeah, don't use Amazon or eBay or anything like that. Now, the reason is, in the past, there have been a few instances of this happening. Basically, people have sold wallets that have been so-called poisoned, i.e., they've opened up the wallet, they've noted down the seed phrase that is included with the wallet, and then they've sold that wallet on. Now, because they have the seed phrase, which is it depends.
It's a number of words that you can use to access it if you've fucked something up.
Exactly. Yeah. So your seed phrase is really important, and you should never share it with anyone.
Orange.
No. Yours is just the word orange.
No, they do have those. There's just a list of abstracts.
It's just a list of totally random, unconnected words. Yeah, but you should never share your seed phrase with anyone. But what people have done is, so they've opened up these wallets, they've noted down the seed phrase, then they've sold them on, then someone has loaded up this wallet with crypto, and because you can access the wallet remotely using the seed phrase,
they've stolen the coins.
People have been able to drain them. Yeah. So order directly from the manufacturer, and when it's delivered, when the wallet itself is delivered, the box will be sealed. There'll be usually, I think it's a holographic seal on the box. If that is broken, if that's been tampered with in any way, do not use the wallet. And actually, on the device itself, there should be a little seal too. If either of those seals are broken, forget it. Don't use the wallet. Don't put any crypto on it. Send it right back. Okay? So really, really important. Always order your hardware wallet directly from the manufacturer. Double check that all the seals are in place. Now, the setup process for each wallet, it kind of differs from brand to brand, but it is very, very simple, and the instructions with each one are very, very clear. My only tip for this particular part of the process would be just make sure you do it really, really carefully. Don't have any distractions. So when you're setting, put yourself alone in a room, no music on, anything like that, and just focus. It will only take you a few minutes. It won't take long. But you need to make sure that you go through every step very, very carefully, that you make a very careful note of your seed phrase, that you do everything properly. And if you've got kids running around poking you in the eye, anything like that, that's a bad idea, because it's when you're distracted, that's when you
mess up.
Yeah, when you make mistakes. And as I say, you've got the software itself that you'll have to download, and that will help you interact with the wallet. And it really is very, very straightforward. So it will also prompt you to make a copy of your seed phrase, and I would say that 2 copies of the seed phrase are best. Obviously, in case you lose one. And a lot of the time, you'll actually get a little, you'll get a little test on your seed phrase afterwards. So it'll be like, okay, enter the 3rd word, the 5th word, the 10th word, or whatever, to show, so as you can prove that you've written it down correctly. Because if you don't, you could get locked out of your wallet forever.
Forever and ever.
Yeah. Forever, ever.
Ever.
When you store the wallet itself, once you've set up the wallet and once you've uploaded crypto onto it, don't store the wallet and the seed phrase in the same place. Because, if you have it in a drawer and you get burgled and they go, crypto wallet, and there's the seed phrase as well. Goodbye. Good night, Vienna. Crypto gone. Now, what I do...
don't have it in the same briefcase and lose it in Edinburgh.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do what happened to someone I know. Yeah. don't. What I do is, this may sound a little paranoid, but then I do hold quite a lot of crypto. I actually keep my. I've got several Trezor devices, and I keep them in different security deposit boxes.
And you have one on you at all time in your anus. Is that true?
I can't comment on that. If I did, I certainly wouldn't tell you. I do not.
Shelf your Trezor device. It's a lot easier than the Ledger, which is sharp edges and square. The Trezor one is quite flat and smooth.
Okay.
Take it from Guy.
Tip from the top. Yeah.
From the bottom.
I was wondering how you'd managed to corrupt a discussion about hardware wallets, and as ever, Mikey, you've surprised me. I wouldn't say all that pleasantly. Yeah, so take how you store your wallet very, very seriously. Don't store it. Don't store it on your person in any way, shape, or form. Someone might be thinking, well, I've only got a few dollars worth of crypto. I've only got a few pounds worth. Is it necessary to go to all this palaver? And I would say, well,
no.
A safety deposit box, and even a hardware wallet, perhaps for a couple of £100, say, is.
They're not that expensive.
They're not that expensive.
They're
no,
like
that was
50 quid.
That was a point I wanted to make. Hardware wallets are. I mean, the more expensive, like the Trezor Model T, which has a sort of color screen, Bluetooth enabled, and stores has a lot more coin storage. Yeah, broader range of coin storage. That is a little more expensive. That'll cost you sort of north of $200. But a very basic device like a Nano S or a Trezor One, they are sub $100, which is what's that, 70 quid or something like that. Not very much money. So if you are thinking it's overkill, I've only got a few £100, well, they're not that expensive. So do bear that in mind. So I mean, I think if you do have a relatively small amount of crypto as well, then you could think about a software wallet, which we're going to talk about in a moment. But I would always err on the side of caution.
Yeah.
It's
you also one other thing is you do feel quite cool and like a Matrix sort of person when you are doing all of this stuff, and you've got it all on a hard drive, and what if you lose that hard drive and the music's like dun 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 dun, or not?
This is your life.
Yeah.
Thanks for that insight.
They do look cool. They look cool, and you feel like you know what you're doing when you're downloading your coins to the ledger.
You feel in control.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is a big part of it. And crucially, an exchange or other platform does not have your key. You are, it's your crypto and you've got it. So. Yeah, and I mean, I must say, I am always surprised. Like I've had a lot of people come up to me in the past and kind of chat about the channel and chat about crypto and stuff, and they've got out their phones and they've opened an exchange app and they've shown me, their crypto portfolio, and like sometimes I've seen some genuinely big amounts there, like thousands of pounds. One guy who showed me had like over 100 grand pounds worth of crypto sitting on an exchange account, and I was like, you need to custody that, but it's amazing, and people just think it's
What does it cost to send it to your wallet, or does it cost anything?
You might have to pay a small network fee. It kind of depends on the coin. An Ethereum gas fee could be quite expensive. But again, if you're sending a large amount, and also, Ethereum gas fees are actually very low at the moment because not
everything is.
Yeah, not many people are using the Ethereum network. If you are worried about things like gas fees on Ethereum, one thing that you can do is actually to send it at a different time. If the more congested the network is, the more people are using it, the more expensive the gas will be. And if it's like kind of anything else, if you're using it at peak time, it will cost more. So something I've done in the past when I've been moving, a hefty amount of ETH or another ERC20 thing around, I've actually sort of done it very, very early in the morning, when there just aren't many people up and using the network. So that's.
But what time is that? Do you want to be American morning?
Well, yeah, you need to think about where you are in the world. I mean, sort of most. I think you want to make sure you're doing it whilst Americans are in bed.
Yeah.
Or most Americans are in bed. But yeah, it's worth paying a small network fee
to have all of your coins.
Yeah, to have it safe.
It's a lot cheaper than all of your coins.
Yeah. So, and I think, just sort of, you need to decide yourself what your level of risk tolerance is. But like I say, I have been amazed by the number of people walking around with literally thousands and thousands of pounds worth of crypto just sitting there, and it's vulnerable. And as we're going to see in section 3, it's kind of more vulnerable than you think. So if you're asking yourself, if you're not sure whether you need a hardware wallet or not, my advice would be to err on the side of caution. Because, with luck, what we hope is that the value of your crypto will go up in time. It may only be worth a few $100s now, but when the next bull market comes along, whenever that might be, that volume that price that could shoot up. So you want to be prepared. Forewarned is forearmed. Now, a few other things about hardware wallets that we should just touch on. Be very careful. This seed phrase as well. Obviously, you need to make sure that you store it securely. Like I say, I think it's worth getting 2 copies. Don't store it with the device. Store it in a secure location in your house. If you have a safe in your house, something like that, that could be a good place to store it. Just make sure you store the wallet elsewhere. With hardware wallets and software wallets as well, you should be very careful where you insert your seed words, because phishing sites, phishing attacks will often say, will often be trying to get hold of your seed phrase. So you should only ever use your seeds if you're interacting with, if you're resetting a wallet itself. So anything else, you'll never get an unprompted request for your seed phrase. So if you see any sort of email, WhatsApp message, Telegram message, whatever it is, asking for your seed phrase, that person is a scammer and is trying to rob you. So don't give them a word of it. And when storing your wallet as well, obviously make sure it's safe from people nicking it, people going through your drawers. Also, it's worth trying to keep it safe from fire and flood damage or anything like that. And ditto with your seed phrase as well. One thing that you can do with a seed phrase is you can get metal seed cards now. And full disclosure, we sell them on the Coinbureau merch store, but you can get them from lots of different places. And that's that's a piece of metal, and it comes with a little pen. You can engrave your seed words on it, and therefore, then if it does, if your house does get flooded or fire or anything like that, you've still got those all important seed words.
If you keep it where we suggested before, that's always fire safe.
Yes, your back passage is unlikely to catch fire. Yeah. Unless you've had a very...
Vindaloo.
Yeah. Unless you've got a...
So hack.
Oh, my word. What are we? We're nearly 40 years old and we're still talking about this. Okay. And hardware wallets, there are a few other things as well that you can do with them. You can also... Some of them will enable you to set up little dummy accounts because they have PIN codes that you can put in. So, to access the device itself. And on a few models, you can set up a dummy account with a little bit of, crypto in. So therefore, if someone does pull what we call a $5 wrench attack, which we'll talk about $5, but basically tries to rob you at,
gunpoint.
Under threat of violence, then on some of these wallets, you can set it up so you can show them the dummy account, which is maybe like $50 worth, say $20 worth of crypto sitting there, and they just think they've robbed a pauper. And in actual fact, most of it is sitting in a little shadow account that they haven't been able to access. So,
but now that we've told everyone, they'll probably beat you to
if it's
death.
if it's a very savvy crypto, very crypto savvy thief, then perhaps. But there are all these little steps that you can take to keep you and your crypto safer. Now, if you're wondering about which hardware wallet is right for you, if you want a bit more detailed information on them, then I did a video about them on our YouTube channel recently, just in the last few weeks. So do go and check that out. And it talks about ledgers, Trezors. Also, there's a brand called KeepKey as well, which is very good and very, very cheap too. So it gives you the full kind of and talks a little bit more about some of these.
I'm also launching my own ledger.
You are?
Yeah. Just send me your keys. I will store it all for you.
Okay. There you are, folks. Yeah, send Mad Mike your keys and watch your money disappear.
No.
No, he's completely legit. And one other thing as well, if you are going to store lots of crypto on a hardware wallet, then also, again, consider splitting it across 2 separate devices. And this is what I do as well. If you lose your wallet, if your wallet does get stolen, you can recover that crypto. It's if the wallet and the passphrase get stolen, then you're in trouble. But if you lose the actual physical device, you can get those keys back with the passphrase. But again, it's worth it if you are talking about large sums here, then split it up, because something we've talked about before is, if you have everything in one place, all your eggs in one basket, you are exposing yourself to a lot of risk. And yeah, as I said before, keep the devices and the passphrases very, very safe. And you have to decide for yourself how seriously, what your level of security is, and that's something that only you can decide.